Guys, you are now watching a clip from the Fellas podcast. You can listen to the full podcast exclusively on Spotify for free. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed, and follow the podcast.
Okay, I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Right, and you're absolutely entitled to say no here, and this might be a bit peak for Chip. Have you seen Buckmore's 24-hour race? Are you aware of it?
I'm aware of it, yes.
Have you ever seen a video about YouTubers attempting the race?
Not the 24-hour race, no.
Well, no, you know what that means? That means you got something to look forward to your 2-hour journey home.
Okay,
right?
Good.
Because what we do, Chip's probably better off talking about this, but every year we gather like a group of YouTubers and we enter into a 24-hour karting race at Buckmore. Have you ever done a 24-hour? I imagine.
I haven't, no.
You haven't?
No.
Does that interest you at all?
Like a karting race for fun?
Yeah. But you're just not allowed to.
Well, I don't really have the time to do it. And then
You ain't got 24 hours? Yeah.
Well, but when is the Buckmore race? Like
It was April. It's April 23rd it was this year.
Okay.
So next year.
Is that in the middle of the season? Is that when the season started? Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to. You're not allowed to do an endurance race. Just endurance race is a karting race, but still.
Yeah, I can ask probably. But
Anyway, the reason why is because I'll be honest with you, we came fourth this year. And we need somebody to take us onto the podium. I love karting, man. Karting is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you find that, like, obviously now going from like an F1 car and going back in the car, do you still find karting like fun when you get the chance to do it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
So it doesn't lose it just because you're in like a way faster car now?
No, like it like the good thing about karting is it's just so easy to get involved. Like a race car, you've got like an F1 car especially, like you've got first I need someone to strap my seatbelts in.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just jump in and drive it. And then you've got however many people, like 15, 20 people that start up the car, let you drive it out. A go-kart, you jump in, you push the button and you drive.
Yeah.
It's just so simple and nice.
Yeah.
I always love going back.
I mean, I always see it like they're pulling out laptops to start a car. Like, guys, come on, there's got to be an easier way to do this.
Yeah,
man.
you just whack the key in and turn the ignition on, man. Come on.
Complicated.
Yeah. What was your first time getting in an F1 car? Do you remember it?
Yes.
Like, are you allowed? Because I know you obviously came up through F2 and all that stuff. When you're in there, do you get a chance to go? That, by the way, if you haven't already known, I'm not super familiar with F1, so I apologize if these questions sound pretty stupid. But
this guy, man.
I got to know, like, do you get a chance to like test these things out? And like, what if you like got in it where you're like, yo, this just isn't for me?
So my first F1 test was after my F3 season, and it was very fast, to say the least. Like I jumped in, and so we've got like the engines are hybrid in F1, and your outlaps you do basically without any power from the battery, which is like an extra, I think, 160 horsepower or something like that. And I thought the outlap was fast, and then you turn off the recharge button, and then it gives you full power, and it's fucking quick.
Really?
Really, really quick. But the biggest thing was the braking. So like in F3, I was braking at like the 100-meter board for like a hairpin at, 270 kilometers an hour, 280. So I don't know what that is in miles, like 150,
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, you're asking the wrong guys. Higher than that. And then in an F1 car, it was like an additional 40 kilometers an hour faster, so like an extra 25 miles an hour, and I'm braking at the same place, if not even later.
Yeah.
And then the first time I wasn't prepared for it, my neck. So my head just basically went straight into the steering wheel.
I've seen the videos of people like being in simulators.
I saw a video of a normal guy getting to try out like an F1 car or something like that, and he spoke about. Also, there was another one where a guy spoke about how hard it is to press the brake pedal. So I'm not sure. Have you seen that?
Yeah, like the pressure on it, because obviously we're all used to just driving a normal car and you can just sort of like press it with no problem. But supposedly in an F1 car, it's just like it's like a workout.
Yeah, it's like, I think we actually have power brakes now in an F1 car, so it's not as difficult as it used to be. But to be honest, in F3 and F2, there's some things that are actually more physical. So Formula 2, well, all of the junior races, you don't have power steering. So the steering wheel is a big workout, but also then the brakes as well. Like I remember the F3 car in particular, I was hitting that brake pedal basically as hard as I could. Every
like stomping on it.
Like as hard as I physically could, every single corner for 40 minutes of the race.
Yeah.
So that was quite the workout. In F1, those bits are a little bit easier, but then the G-forces are completely another level. Like the amount of neck training I had to do and still have to do, and I'm still like learning to cope with it is wild.
Because I've seen, I watched like Lando's stream and one time, and he was there like, everyone was there in the chat going like, flex your neck. Have you seen this? And then he goes like this.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it's huge. Like he looks quite unassuming. No offense, but like, you look at him and you go, yeah, whatever. But then all of a sudden, it's like Brock Lesnar out of nowhere. He's jacked up like this.
Yeah.
So when are we gonna get Oscar walking around like this?
I feel like there's something going on there.
Yeah, like already, bro.
The collar's hiding it, but there's something going on there. I can see. I can see. I had my eye on him. I was like, damn, buddy. Okay.
It's funny you say that because the comms team at McLaren, they came up to me in I think Spain or one of the recent races, and they said, there's something about you that looks really different in photos from the start of the year. And I said, well, what is it? I said, I haven't had a haircut for a while, so maybe it's that. And they said, no, your neck has grown like
an inch
or two. So I was like, oh, well, there you go. But yeah, I remember, so my manager is Mark Webber, who used to race in F1. And he said, as soon as he retired from F1, he lost, I think it was like 2 inches from his neck within the first 6 months. So
damn,
yeah.
I feel like, bro, when like trending things right now, everyone's talking about like, oh, girls want guys that are tall, all this stuff. Like the moment they start going, I want a guy with a big neck.
Like
I'll
be calling your phone like, what's that neck routine you got, buddy?
Bro, he's just sacked off F1 and he's just doing like personal training, but it's purely on the neck.
Yeah.
I wanted to know something. I wanted to know, in your career, when was there must have been like a defining moment where it looked like your dream of driving in F1 was probably going to become true? Because obviously you took the year out.
Yeah.
And then you were a reserve driver there. Was it then? Because I saw a clip where you said you was slightly disappointed to take that year out.
Yeah.
But when was it where you was like, oh shit, like we're doing this?
So I think the moment for me was like towards the end of my F2 season. So I'd won 2 championships before that, and then like you just never really dared to think about what can happen until you really get close to it. So I'd say towards the end of my F2 championship, when it was looking like I could win that's when, because obviously there's nothing else after F2, I was like, okay, this could actually happen now. And then, like unfortunately there was no seats for last year, and it was, a bit unfortunate. And then, so I was a reserve driver for last year, but I knew so the rules are if you win Formula 2 or any of the junior categories, you can't do them again. So I didn't have anything else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the only option left, to be a reserve driver. But I thought that, with those results, hopefully someone's gonna pick me for F1.
And obviously they did, so it worked out.
They did, so it worked out, yeah.
So as a reserve driver, like how much like driving are you getting to do in that season? Not because obviously you want to stay behind the wheel as much as possible.
Yeah, so I mean it depends a bit on the team and how much they're willing to offer. And we did, I think, probably 10 test days up for the year. So I was reserve driver with a different team and then joined McLaren. So across those 2 teams, it was probably about 10 days, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound like a lot.
10 days? That's it?
That's it. And that's like quite a lot, actually.
That stinks, bro.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's so interesting compared to like different sports. Like obviously, let's just football for example. You train every day, you train your back down, you do everything but within like motorsport, you got to wait.
So
man.
did you hate did that just suck? Like truth, it must have done. Like you've gone from racing regularly, constantly being in that competitive environment to like 10 days.
Yeah, the hardest moment was when we got to the first race. And because there was like F1 racing, Formula 2 and Formula 3 all on the same weekend. So the guys that I wanted to race against in F1 and all the people that I'd previously raced against in F2 and F3 were all racing. Yeah. And I was watching them all.
Bro.
So that was probably...
After you just smoked them as well.
Wow, smoked them, I don't know. But
bro, it's true though.
Quick one.
Imagine that, just sit on the other side, man. You're watching I smoked you lot and you lot get to race.
You've raised a good point.